a time and then return. Is that no longer the case? Are they doing longer terms?
Stratcom, did you hear that one?
Not at all. I hate to turn this into a military net, but can I get a relay? Over.
Yes, sir. So the question was, here in the building, the secretary and the deputy secretary have separated themselves to do VTC meetings and things like that. The question was whether similar actions have been taken at Stratcom.
Well, again, the answer is yes. And again, an organization that is designed to go into combat, that's why I have a deputy commander to begin with. And so we have taken steps internal to the command to separate the nuclear forces, both people and equipment have tremendous redundancy and reliability. We have taken full advantage of that. In fact, one thing I'm excited about here is the possibility that we may find some better ways of operating day to day, utilizing some of this incredible communications capability that we have that may take us to a new normal where we find more efficient ways of accomplishing our business. Over.
Thank you, sir. We'll go to Barbara in the room.
Barbara Starr from CNN. Admiral, I hate to keep pressing you, but I do want to go back to Bob Burns' question. If you want the public to be reassured that all of your strategic assets are ready to go and uninterrupted, I guess I don't understand what the concern would be about some adversary knowing that any of the particulars, what knowledge that could give any adversary. Is there any one example you could give us of what you are doing to protect the force, or can you better explain why it's such a concern to you that you couldn't communicate any of that to the public?
Well, I mean, I can, Barbara, give you an example, and the strategies are pretty similar. One is you look across, and we're kind of hyping or jumping on the IC fields, but it's, I mean, you could do the same example here in my headquarters in terms of the way that we have minimized contact on critical watch spaces. We're not doing tours down on them anymore. We're looking to see to make sure that we minimize the cross-section for exposure. You go into pre-screens on your people that are going in. You have contingency plans to pre-quarantine or separate out people, pre-isolate them to make sure that they have a minimum risk of infection, and then you make sure that you can continue to execute those off the long term. So that, in general, are some of the things that we either have done or are ready to go do. We look logistically to make sure that we have all the places and stuff necessary to do that. So it is, again, I have confidence in what we're doing here in the headquarters down those lines. I've checked on it personally myself. And again, I've got component commanders at the 4-star level who are taking equal measures that are specific to that particular platform or that particular leg of the triad.
Could you also, just a quick follow-up, can you say, you said, I think you had a handful of people in protective self-quarantine. I wasn't sure if that was across all your components, across the entire command, just at headquarters. Can you give us any better numbers on how many people in self-quarantine? And within STRATCOM, have you had anyone test positive?
Yeah, so we have 0 people in STRATCOM headquarters or in the components that have tested positive. So I have no cases of COVID right now. I have less than 10 in headquarters, and we are very cautious in the way, very leaning forward in terms of the protective self-quarantines. And in each of the components right now, Air Force and Navy, it's less than 20. Over.
Is that, I'm so sorry, is that 20 each, 20 together? And what is it that led these people to need self-quarantine? Was it contact? What led to this?
Yeah, it's less than 20 each, so Air Force and Navy. For my components, I'd respectfully ask you to talk to the services about that. Headquarters, it's just where you looked at somebody coming back off of travel or something like that, where you wanted to just be in an abundance of caution, making sure that you gave them a chance to see if they would go symptomatic. Over.
Thank you.
Sir, we'll take one more from the phone line. Dan Leone with Defense Daily.
Yeah, hey everybody, thanks for having the call here. Just real quick, what changes has STRATCOM made to the way you all are interfacing with your civilian partners at the National Nuclear Security Administrations while you guys cycle weapons in and out of DOT custody during routine repairs and other modernization programs?
Sir, did you hear that question? If not, I can relay.
Yeah, go ahead and relay it, please.
Yes, sir. So the question was, what steps are you taking to protect the civilian workforce that you're interacting with, be it at NSA, NNSA, as you're doing weapons custody transfers and things like that?
Yeah, operationally, we have not had a need to modify anything, so our operations continue normally. If you kind of take me back down more of an administrative line, right, so there have been some meetings that have been canceled where we're doing them over VTC right now, but those are much longer term things. Impacts really hasn't manifested itself in that way. Operationally, we've had no issues with that.
Okay, and we'll take one more question from the phone. Aaron Mehta with Defense News.
Yeah, thanks very much for doing this. So a couple weeks ago, you testified any delays to your NSA or Pentagon delivery modernization efforts could lead to gaps down the road in the nuclear capabilities. So how concerned are you going forward over the next months, weeks, whatever, about work stoppages and how that might cause delays, given that you said there's basically no margin for error in the schedule already?
Well, I think I'm pretty much out of time here. I would just like to, again, thank everyone for asking these. These are very good questions. Would want to make sure that everyone has confidence. I certainly have confidence that the forces are ready to execute the strategic deterrence mission. We are full attention on this thing. We have plans in place, and I'm confident that no matter what trajectory it takes, we have thought through what we need to do to be able to accomplish our mission. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir, for your time, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron, we'll get back to you on that question.
Yeah, he must
All
have
right,
been
thanks.
So he was up there originally on questions.
He didn't know that.
Technology, it works great and then it doesn't. But thanks everyone. If you have any follow-up questions, you can either contact me or you can contact Captain Clinton at STRATCOM. So.
I'm sure why we did this.
Yeah. I don't think. How are you?
Good, healthy. How about you?
Pretty good. But yeah, set it on real good.
Stable.
Nobody briefed me on that.
Moving? What's the exam? You can tell?
Yeah.
Are we not sure to...
Not officially. Bob was here shooting for about 2:30-ish.
Hey, it's Harper. Hey, so I don't know what happened to that.